Hey! Is this not why you were here?
Hi guys, I'm Garvey here, and this is my Raid Shadow Legends diary. Been a while. I'm actually going to make a few changes to the channel itself. One of them being that I'm going to start doing Raid Shadow Legends videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's mostly because I am mid-game and not completely free to play, but mostly in the beginning I was spending some, but now I'm not. And I mean, if there's like an incredible deal or something, that's something I really, really want, I'm willing to, but I'm leaning against doing any of it all. In fact, to that point where I've gotten like all these ridiculously like cheap deals. It's like, hey, we're gonna try to get you to spend money. But in any case, so since I'm in the mid game, since I'm kind of grinding a lot, I'm just gonna kind of like change the way that I format things, because showing you every day me just trying to grind the same dungeon is just not. It's not gonna be interesting to you either, is it? So in any case, in this video, what I'm doing is I've had Ghrush the Mangler for the longest time. And I drew him from a crystal, actually. In fact, if I go back to the daily logins, you'll see that I haven't even received him from the daily logins yet. So I drew him in a shard like forever ago. And I leveled him up, but this was before I really knew what masteries were and how to really do anything with masteries. So I got all of his mastery scrolls and everything. And so now I'm going to go through building him. And here is the issue. So I'm on ayumilove.net. And they have, well, they have 4 builds for him. The last 2 I'm not going to really go for because they're both like clan boss builds. But then there's this one where it is supposed to be for it's an all-around build for Ghrush if you pulled him in the early to mid-game progression process, right? Now, though I consider myself mid-game, I'm definitely mid-game. The issue is that I have enough champions in terms of progression. My main thing right now is just trying to get like grinding and getting the gear and just progressing bit by bit. So I think that build where they're going offensive and defensive tree is more geared towards people who don't have as deep of a roster as I have. Now, as I go down to this other build, this one is more geared towards him not being able to be crowd control, so he has more resistance, etc., etc. He does have a few buffs or debuffs, I should say. On his A1, attacks when enemy has a 50% chance of placing a leech debuff on the target for 2 turns before attacking. Now let me check his artifacts. He already has 215 accuracy, and I don't have an accuracy banner. I have resistance, which just lends itself to him not being crowd controlled, right? So then Bone Breaker Stomp attacks all enemies, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack or a 30% decrease crit damage for 2 turns. Why is that or? It'd be cool if they did but whatever. And then Smothering Swath, sure, attacks all enemies, places a 50% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns, places an additional 7.5% continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn if at least 1 enemy is hit with a critical hit. So then he should have crit in his kit too, right? Not a whole lot of crit in there. And let me see the gloves that he has on right now. I have defensive gloves, defensive chest, defensive boots. So I have him loaded up with a whole lot of defense. In any case, so I started doing these masteries on my own like a while ago before I even got the books. And this is what I started off with. And I think I'm going to change it. I was trying to get accuracy, I guess. And that part of that is I want to be able to land the leech. That'll help with survivability for the whole team. Let me just reset all of this. Reset for free. There we go. So now that we reset, it's recommended to go here where we're going for resistance. Now, he's going to heal. I have him in a lot of defensive gear, so adding resistance could be a plus. It's a flat 10, and when it comes to defense, it's a flat 75. Defense is the one that's more scarce, or resistance is the one that's more scarce, so I'm going to go for resistance, especially since I'm going to have him in defensive gear anyway. And then, of course, we're going for the accuracy over here. Well aware. Rejuvenation. Increases the amount of heat. Yep, so I want to increase the value of the heals, definitely. Decrease the damage received by the champion by 8% when this champion's hit with critical hits. That sounds like good for arena. I'm wondering, but I feel like this build would also be good for PvE content as well. Like it says, Arena, Doom Tower, and Faction Wars. And I mean, if it's good for Doom Tower, wouldn't it also be good for campaign by default? Like, what's exact? I mean, they're both PvE content. Doom Tower is more end game. I get that, but doesn't that mean heals a champion by 10% of their max HP the first time an enemy is killed in each round, which would be good for Doom Tower. Now, here's the other. Increases the value of the heals this champion casts by 5%. He doesn't heal, he gives continuous heal, which is always the thing I got to keep in mind so that I don't end up grabbing the wrong stuff. All right, now I kind of want this shadow heal. Heals this champion by 6% of their max HP each time an enemy is healed. Then we come over here. Has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from this champion when they lose 25% of their max HP or more on a single. Why? Okay, so Yumi Love says do that, the Resurgent. But why wouldn't I just do Shadow Heal? I would prefer the heal, right? Am I crazy on that one? Because I think that's where I'm about to go. Let me read this other stuff here. Has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a buff by this champion is removed or expires. I do like that. And then we go here, has a 30% chance of receiving when a debuff cast by him. And he does cast debuffs. So he does have that leech. So I do want that. I think I'm going to go with Shadow Heal instead of Resurgent. Has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from this champion when they lose 25% of their max HP. Yeah, no, I want to. I mean, this seems like it'd be for bosses and stuff. I'm going for Shadow Heal over Resurgent. I always get like antsy when I'm choosing against the thing that's been recommended. All right, next. Reduces the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. Damage reduction stacks up to 6%. What's the other one over here? Increases ally resist by 5 for each buff placed on them by this champion. He places a lot of buffs. Okay, is there something I'm missing on this? Oh, I know why. Because now, in order for me to get this one, which would be Retribution, has a 50% chance to counter when this champion loses, etc. If he's countering, that means he's using his 8-1. That means he's a good chance of him putting on a leech. And then we come down here, and you have the resistance, unshakable. That's why you're taking delayed death, which I don't think is as good as increased ally resist by 5 for each buff. So if he's laying down 2 15% continuous heals and 7.5% continuous heal, that's plus 15 resistance. Let me see if there's anything on this side that I could just knock off. Has a 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn at the start of every turn. I don't like the 5%. They recommend the 5%, but they're recommending the 5% because of this. Has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any buff cast by this champion, which would be all those continuous heals. Oh, what is this one? Increases the amount of healing and the value of shield buffs. So that's the thing. The healing is definitely useless because he does not heal. It's continuous heal. It's a buff. And I want lasting gifts. Decreases the target's turn meter when this champion hits them with a default skill for the first time. And they're using that to get to Master Hexer. Has a 30% chance to extend the duration. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to have to take one mastery that I'm not a huge fan of. I hate this mastery. 5%, I hate this 5% thing. Instead of taking these 2 to get me down to Retribution, because I have to have lasting gifts for his buff. So while I'm even thinking about it, I don't have a choice. I have to have lasting gifts. I hate that. I hate that so much. Now, Master Hexer, I want that debuff to stay, but the second I do that, that means I cannot use. Okay, well, Solidarity, is it that much of an advantage? Like, really? I mean, plus 15 resistance is good, and plus if it's on lasting gifts, And I would extend it even more. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan right now. This is not fun. This is supposed to be fun. Why y'all giving me all these hard decisions? Okay, I have to take Master Hexer because Leech is too important for his kid. So I have to go with the Evil Eye, decreases turn melee champion. Yeah, hit by the first skill. And then what's the Lure of Steel? I mean, do I have him in anything that gives 15%? Well, I don't like Lure of Steel anyway that much. Alright, so Master Hexer. Oh, not a fan. I am not a fan, but I want more resistance on him. If he resists, then that gives him the ability or the chance to help heal the rest of the team if he's not provoked or stunned or whatever. I'm not a fan. So, in conclusion, with Ghrush, I went with Ayumi Love.net's template, the second one. But instead I took Shadow Heal instead of Resurgent. I am not happy at the fact that I had to take this thing here, Cycle of Magic. And I really wish I could have taken this one instead. But given how the Masteries map works, this is what I had to do. So in any case, I'm going to take him around. Play Doom Tower just reset, so I'll do that. But that's it. That's I'm not really happy about that at all. In any case, thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.